Why did you decide that probably Lilacbuds would be a better suited organization to help you throughout your application journey?
So it all started when I spoke to my cousin sister, who is currently pursuing interior architecture in the US itself, and she got into nine of out of the 10 schools she applied to, and that was with y'all. First call itself, it was so good that I was sure that okay, I don't want to look anywhere else. I'm going to join Lilacbuds and I'm going to move forward with it.
Hi Khushank, good afternoon. How are you today?
Hi, good afternoon. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. Why don't you start with a quick introduction of yourself?
Hi, I'm Khushank. So, Khushank Jain. I did my 10th grade from an IGCSE school called Bright Start. Then 11th, 12th, I did the normal HSC board from Jai Hind College. And post that, currently I'm pursuing my engineering degree. I'm in my third year. I've been done with I'm in my fifth semester right now. And I'm currently pursuing B.Tech IT in NMIMS Mukesh Patel University.
Okay, great. And Khushank, you, after completing your 2 years primarily at Mukesh Patel, you decided to transfer to the US from third year onwards, right, for undergrad computer science, computer engineering related programs.
So basically, I applied to 4 schools and I got into one of them, just four of the schools, because I was very concrete about the location of my university and the specific computer engineering programs. And I got into sunny Stonybrook, State University of New York, Stonybrook,
Okay.
which is the second on my list. And I'm awaiting for my responses from NYU, Boston, and Maryland.
Okay, understood. So, thanks a lot for that, Kushank. Now, I would want to understand your thought process. Why did you decide that probably Lilacbuds would be a better suited organization to help you throughout your application journey?
So it all started when I spoke to my cousin sister, who is currently pursuing interior architecture in the US itself, and she got into nine of out of the 10 schools she applied to, and that was with y'all. She was very confident, and she was really happy with her experience with y'all. And I was looking for the same, like the help with my essays, with a lot of different things. I really wanted a proper communication between, because I was yet currently studying, so I couldn't give all my time, and I thought I needed proper guidance for it. So that's when I thought, yeah, this does make sense for me. And I honestly love the way everything's so organized here, like whether it's the portal uh, where everything is going on, whether it's a meeting, whether it's scheduling the meeting, or whether I have to upload a document, or where the documents are being shared with me, all of that, like my essays, my SOPs, all of that, my CVs, everything. I had to upload the corrected version would be with me within 2 days. This platform made me it was very easy for me to use, and I was honestly very happy with the way things worked out.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot for your kind words, Kushank. It's good to know that you had a smooth experience working with us. Yeah.
Yeah.
So finally, I mean, one question or one thing which I would like to understand from you, your experience is your experience working with your mentors. You primarily work with myself and Mr. Prayash on your undergrad applications. So could you tell about your experience working with the both of us?
So I'll start with Preyash because he was the
Yeah.
first point of contact I had. I was given Preyash's number. So the first call itself, it was so good that I was sure that okay, I don't want to look anywhere else. I'm going to join Lilacbuds and I'm going to move forward with it. It was
Yeah.
just very comforting. He understood my entire perspective, because a transfer in the second after 2 years it isn't something that usually happens. And
Yeah.
he wasn't just pushing me for like, okay, you should go for this because, yeah, okay, like you can go. like US is a better choice, because I had a standing offer from Australia as well at that time. So he gave me very honest opinions about my entire situation. I could put forward all the facts in front of him, and he really helped me out figure things out for myself. And I was honestly very happy. The conversations I've shared with him throughout the last 2 months, it has been very chill. It has been like I don't have to stress about a lot of things. He keeps in check with me, and that has personally has it honestly keeps like it helps you a lot if you have someone who's just like who understands the entire situation.
Yeah.
And because there are a lot of other things, like academics was just a part of it. I had to consider a lot of other things like family, and a lot of different points needed to be considered. And he gave me honest opinions about it. It wasn't just
Okay.
in favor of the US or these universities. He gave me his honest opinions. And
Yeah.
I wasn't even going to apply to Stonybrook. He actually like suggested at that time. I did my research, and that's when I came up with this. And I'm actually glad, like it checks all my boxes. More than NYU, I feel now Stonybrook checks all my boxes.
Okay.
And with
Great.
Karan, with you, sorry, it was just the entire process was made very easy for me. Whether it was calls, whether it was text, all the time I would get a reply within an hour or two max. That is a max I'm saying. Sometimes at the very second. So that was like I remember calling at 10 at night also, and you're like, yeah, I'm awake, just tell me what it is. That was like you don't usually get that, because I used to work during the entire day. At night I used to work on my applications, and you were there. So that's something I really appreciated. I really appreciate. And like whether it was help with the entire, it was a lot of like when we were making the Excel sheet for all the universities, we were shortlisting universities. That process was amazing. Like I personally love that experience of doing that, because I didn't know universities that existed, and I was made aware of that, and I was actually given proper guidance through that. And with my essays, when we discussed the pointers and everything, all of these things together just made the entire experience very useful and very easier for me.
Great. So, okay, great. So, Kushank, thank you again for your kind words. And I'm glad that you had a great experience working with both Priyash and myself. And you were able to make it to one of your top choices for your transfer application. Finally, everyone knows that applying for an undergrad program in the US specifically is a learning process in itself, right?
Yeah.
Throughout the journey, you get to know a lot of things about your own self, which you probably did not before. You get to introspect, you get to, think about the experiences you have had, and a lot of things before you attempt your common essays or your essay questions for the application. So, what would be a couple of learning points which you would like the future undergrad applicants to the US, and specifically the transfer applicants, to keep in mind from your own experience?
So firstly, transfer students need to just consider the fact that this is not the normal process. There is no proper guidelines or a timeline for it. You have to work with whatever comes by. It is, you might have to work with your exams going on. You'll have to do a lot of other things at the same time. Like you'll be like, okay, what's going on? There's no concrete structure to this. This is
Yeah.
one thing which I realized in the entire process, that how like the first applicants have it all like, okay, Jan I have to submit my application, I'll get my responses by March, example. So that's not something that happens here. You can hear from universities within 2 weeks, you can hear from universities within 2 months. It's kind of haywire, because every university has their own way of dealing with transfer students. So that's something you need to understand. Secondly, I'll say, be get your research done. Research how much ever you can, read about universities. It's honestly not just the ranking which plays an important role. For me, like it's the ranking, yeah, it does play a role, but not such an important role. There are other aspects as well which you need to consider, like the location of the universities. Does the university checks the boxes you want? Like
Yeah.
the course might be great, but if the university is not offering you something that you don't like, you are looking for, then it doesn't really make sense, because there are a
Yeah.
lot of different other programs as well which will offer you better choices. And
Yeah.
also, you when you choose backups, I really feel that you also have to consider the current university you're studying in is one of your biggest backups. You
Yeah.
can't go to a university which is lower than which will have a lower impact on you than your current university. That's
Yeah.
something you really need to consider. And when you're working on your essays, when you're working on all of your CV and everything, just make sure you write things that you can like connect to. It's about you. Like, don't just read and write. Don't just refer through essays and go write it. Like, have a fresh mind, sit and just write whatever you feel like. Don't refer to other people's SOPs, or don't do all of those things. Like, read it
Yeah.
once, it's okay, get an idea on the structure, but the content, the more personalized it is, the better results you'll get.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I
yeah,
completely
that's
understand with you here, Kushank, that it's okay to go through samples to understand the structure, the
yeah.
quality, the language and stuff, but it's
The
never okay
idea
to
should be yours,
start
I
copying
feel.
things. Yes.
Yeah,
The
the idea
idea,
should be yours.
originality should be there. I completely agree with you there. And I'm sure the other 2 points which you highlighted, right? Keeping in mind your current institution and keeping in mind that the process here is not as organized as it is for the normal regular undergrad applications. I completely, I'm completely aligned with you there. And I guess these are good pointers to keep in mind for anyone who wants to apply to an undergrad transfer case in the US. Yeah, great. So Kushank, thanks a lot for taking our time today again. And thanks a lot for patiently sharing your experience with all the future applicants. And we would uh, give you the best of luck for your
Thank you. Thank you so
remaining
much.
undergrad program in the US. Yeah. Thank
Yeah,
you.
no worries. Always like, this has actually helped me a lot. So I mean, I can do whatever. Like, I love to do whatever I can for everything right now, because
Yeah.
I'm on the top of the
Maybe.
world, right? Definitely.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.